It was my first year in college, the first time being away from my house back in Boston. Excitement filled me as I unpacked in my dorm room, a decent space with a small attached bathroom. Eager to explore the campus, I quickly set up my side of the room. As I was leaving, my roommate, April, entered. She seemed a bit shy at first, but we got along well. We became dorm room friends, occasionally meeting on campus to greet each other. I noticed she often stayed alone, so I invited her to join my friend group. However, she preferred solitude, and I respected that. One evening after classes, I returned to the room to relax, finding April there as well. We chatted about life before college, and she opened up to me about her struggles with anxiety. She shared how, being on the heavier side, she often felt ignored or mistreated by others. She admitted feeling jealous of those who seemingly had everything going for them. I encouraged her to leave the past behind and embrace this new chapter in her life. That night, something strange occurred. I woke up to get water and found April sitting on her bed, glaring at me. The dim light from our surroundings filtered through the thin curtains, creating an eerie atmosphere. Concerned, I asked if everything was okay. She claimed to have a stomachache and was sitting up. Although uneasy, I went back to sleep. The following day, I shared this strange incident with my best friend, Rachel. She was creeped out as well, but encouraged me not to think about it too much. Later during lunch, Rachel ran to me and told me something I couldn't believe. She warned me that April had a questionable reputation, with rumors suggesting she had placed cameras in the changing room of her previous school to blackmail other girls. The cameras were found, but nothing linked her to the act. I found it hard to believe, defending April as a nice person despite her awkwardness. Days passed without any major events until I returned to my room one night to find my things slightly rearranged. It felt like someone had gone through my belongings and attempted to put them back in order. When I confronted April, she denied any knowledge of it. Suspicious, I knew either she was lying or someone had entered our room. As class tests approached, my focus shifted, and I didn't have much time to interact with April. She complained that it seemed like I was ignoring her, which irritated me as she could see I was busy. I yelled at her, dismissing her concerns, and continued studying. 2 days later, while brushing my teeth in the bathroom, I noticed a faint red flash. Upon investigation, I found a small camera near the shelves. Concerned, I reported the incident to campus administration, detailing everything I knew. The campus police took April for questioning. Disturbed by the situation, I promptly requested a room change. Later, I learned that April faced a few weeks of suspension. I wasn't sure if she would be allowed back or not, and frankly, I didn't want to know. I decided to move forward with my life, leaving behind the unsettling experience. My college days were a lot of fun, but there's one day I try to forget every single day but can never seem to. During my first year in college, I had a large group of friends as we all came from the same school together. We would hang out every single day. One day I suggested, instead of drinking in our dorms, why don't we go by the lake on the other side of the city? We could make a small fire and chill out. It's Friday, and a lot of students go there as well. Maybe we will hit it off with cute girls too. Everyone agreed, and we drove down to the lakeside all excited. The lakeside was beautiful, surrounded by a big forest, and there were a lot of people there. We made our small fire and drank to our heart's content. We tried to hit on a few girls, but it failed, and we made a pact never to speak of it again. We talked and laughed for God knows how long, reminiscing about all the shenanigans we did in school, like how I almost got caught cheating during geometry class. Hours had passed and we did not notice. A bit later, I noticed that we were the only group left there. A friend suggested that we could just as well sleep there. I called him crazy as we did not have a tent or any other warm clothes, and we would be eaten alive by insects. We couldn't drive in this half-drunken state, and there were no motels nearby. We decided to just sleep in the car. As we were getting up to go towards the car, we saw the silhouette of a man coming out of the woods, and he just sat along the lakeside. In my inebriated state, I shouted, "Hey, mister, do you want any beer?" He turned towards us and stood up. He did not say anything, he just stood there. We were a little creeped out but did not want to bother him. We were packing our stuff to take back to the car when my friend noticed that this man was slowly walking towards us, and then after a certain distance started running. We freaked and dropped our stuff to run back to the car. When we reached the car, I realized that I had dropped the key somewhere, or left it where we were sitting. We were terrified. As the man came closer, we saw that he had a knife and was wearing a hospital gown and for some reason was crying. We continued running along the road, hoping for any car to come through. He was catching up quickly. Our hearts were racing. We were exhausted. He came right behind us and my friend shrieked. He had been stabbed in the back. By instinct, I turned around and punched that man, and he fell. Even after being stabbed, my friend still ran. Must be the adrenaline. After God knows how long, we noticed that the man wasn't running after us anymore. We took my friend to the hospital and contacted the police. They drew up a sketch based on our description and told us they would be in contact if they found him. As for my friend, thank God the cut wasn't too deep, but the memories of that day left a scar on us. The next day, the police contacted us and informed us that they had caught the person. He was a patient from a mental institution that had ran away. It was my second semester of college and I shared a dorm room with my friend Priya. We were pretty close and she was really nice, albeit a bit overprotective. It came from a good place, but sometimes it got annoying. She had very few friends and I wondered if that was the reason. Whenever I went out, she assumed the worst, telling me horror stories of people getting roofied and taken advantage of. It was irritating, and she would call every hour to check on me. My other friends weren't too fond of her, considering her a killjoy. However, I defended her, saying her concern was because she cared. One day, Priya and I went to a party arranged by one of the guys at the college. It was a lively gathering with lots of people having fun. While I was enjoying a drink, a cute guy approached me, starting a conversation. Priya, as usual, tried to intervene, but this time I didn't let it happen. The guy asked for my number, and I gave it to him. Priya wasn't thrilled, but she didn't say much at that time. A few days later, the guy called, inviting me to another party with his friends. I informed Priya about it, gave her the address, and mentioned I might be a little late. She expressed concern, stating it was a bad idea, as the guy seemed weird and unknown and may not even be from our college. I got angry this time and lashed out, accusing her of being paranoid and obsessive. I told her she was ruining my social life due to her jealousy, and suggested if she were a bit cooler, people would pay attention to her as well. With that, I stormed out. The party turned out to be small, held in a dimly lit room with only a few people. I met the guy and things were going well until I started feeling nauseous and dizzy. The room darkened, and I woke up on a bed, struggling to move my arms. I wasn't tired, but something was wrong. There was a clock in front of me, my eyesight was hazy, but I could see it was just going to be 10 p.m. Suddenly, I felt a vibration in my pocket. Priya usually checked up on me around this time. I struggled to get my phone and was trying to contact Priya, but ended up dropping it. My head felt heavy and I passed out again. I woke up to police sprinkling water on my face and Priya beside them. While trying to contact Priya, I typed GE instead of HELP, and promptly understanding my situation, Priya called the cops. The police explained to me that I was drugged and kept in this room. Fortunately, the person went outside to get more alcohol, and I was able to contact Priya during that time. When he returned, he was arrested. After the hospital, I thanked Priya for saving me. She mentioned it was her obligation. However, after that incident, she changed her room and never spoke to me again. I realized I deserved it.